Welcome to another episode of the St. John Sports Spiel. I'm your host, Keon St. John, breaking down this North Carolina Notre Dame game over the weekend. Let's get to it. Coming in, boy, was I worried. Notre Dame was on upset alert all week. That's all I was hearing from all of the professionals. Feinbaum and Chris Fowler and Herb Street. Did the game. Everybody was saying Notre Dame needs to be on call because they could lose this game. So I was worried. I looked at a few North Carolina highlights. Excuse me, and I was concerned too. They came in averaging 43 points a game. They was pretty much doing whatever they wanted to do on offense. So I was worried. They got two really, really good receivers. They got two really, really good running backs. They got two backs that was averaging over 100 yards a game, both of them. So, I was concerned. Sam Howell, the quarterback, he's a five-star quarterback. I was concerned, no question. So, and especially coming off the bye, anticipating coming back and playing good off of the bye. Well, North Carolina had a bye too. So they was going to be well prepared as well. So, but it finally came Friday after Thanksgiving, feeling good, and the first quarter started. I didn't know what the hell was going on, as far as defensively, at least. They marched right down the field, scored a touchdown. Sam Howell scrambling, making throws, bouncing off of people. The second touchdown, they get a long pass. Tariq Bracy gets burnt two times. I'm like, oh, goodness gracious. Is this what it's going to be? Remember, I told you that they came in averaging 43 points a game. So for it to start off like that, I'm thinking, damn, is Notre Dame going to have to score 50 points to win the game? They're going to have to get a stop. Maybe we can get one stop. Maybe get one turnover. But I was definitely concerned. And I'll say this too. For the most part of the game, or at least that first half, it just, I didn't like the way the game felt. The game didn't feel fluid. It didn't feel super productive. I mean, Notre Dame did have two really good drives, or three good drives actually. Two touchdowns, one field goal, but it just didn't feel fluid. It just didn't feel comfortable. So, tied 17-17 at halftime. I went into the second half. Worry like hell. A couple of or at least one record is worth shouting out. Ian Book now with 1,400 career yards. Only Tony Rice has rushed for more yards than Ian Book at the quarterback position. That says a lot. Tony Rice graduated in 1988. That says a lot. So shout out Ian Book. He's always been a good scrambler. He's always have good feet, and really he's always been underestimated at that too. When they talk about good scrambling quarterbacks in college football, they don't bring up Ian Book, but he has good feet in the pocket most of the time, and he can get out of trouble. Sometimes he gets out of there too quick, but he still will get positive yards. So, shout out to Ian Book for that. It was good to see Joe Wilkins and Braden Lindsey out there, even though Braden Lindsey didn't get no real PT. He wasn't running too many routes, but it was good to see him out there. I know he's working his way back from the hamstring, so it still was good to see him out there. Hopefully this week during Syracuse he can get a little more run, and so he can be warm and ready and productive and ready to go in that ACC championship game against Clemson, because we gonna need him. Braden Lindsey, Joe Wilkins was out there. He made one good catch on the sideline. It's good. Obviously, you got McKinley. He's been balling. He had over 100 yards. You had Skoranek, he been balling, making catches and making blocks. But it's good when you get those other little contributors that you don't always get coming in making big plays. I like that too. Joe Wilkins comes to mind. Who else? George Tackett had that big catch in the red zone on the last drive of the game to pretty much seal the game up. Went out of bounds on 1 yard line. That was going to be a easy touchdown for Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams been balling. He's been a bell cow all year. I mean, it wasn't an easy day for him. North Carolina defensive line did play well. Their linebackers played well on the run, but he's one of those guys that you just keep feeding him the ball, and eventually he's gonna bust one like he did on that last drive. He ended up with like 130 yards for the game. That was impressive. Because like I said, he didn't start the game off great. He wasn't just busting everywhere. He got stopped a lot in the backfield, but he also had a lot of 4 and 5 yard runs, and those add up too. So it was good to see. Obviously, Kyron Williams doing what he's supposed to do. I was a little surprised with Zeke Correll. He played well all in all, but he did have those bad snaps. They're gonna have to share that up. Ian Book he was being. Let me tell you, Ian Book. Like throughout the game, I felt like even though he ended pretty good game, he threw for like 270 yards or so. No turnovers, which is big, the biggest thing. But I think one touchdown. But he was missing throws, right? Not missing them like overthrowing them or underthrowing them, but he was missing them like he wasn't pulling the trigger when it was there, and now he got to scramble and make something happen. So it wasn't his best game. I've seen him have better feet in the pocket. I thought he got a little bit uneasy in the pocket, a little unsure of himself in the pocket. We got three. It was sometimes it was dropping 8 with 3-man rushing, and I could see he had time, but he still was getting antsy, and he still so he did a lot of that, which I saw, which I was a little like, hey, come on, Ian, got to fix that. But then also he made the plays that he needed to play, and that's the thing about him being 29-3 career as a starter is that you're not gonna play your best game all of the time. You're not. But you're still going to have to find a way to win. And he didn't play his best game, but he still found a way to win. And he made winning plays when it mattered. He made winning throws when it mattered. I like what Tommy Reese was doing, with the offense. I thought he called a good game. He had the it kind of was a slow poke game because you don't want to give North Carolina too many opportunities. You want to milk that clock, make it harder for them to score. But obviously the player, if I could say player, or I'll say figure of the game to me was Clark Lee, because North Carolina didn't score another point after halftime. Pitched a shutout in the third and fourth quarter. Now, eventually, what he started doing was, and real quick, let me leave this out. Kyle Hamilton gets ejected in the second quarter for targeting. At that moment, I was so nervous. Here we are playing against a team that loves to throw the ball over the place. We got damn near the best safety in the whole college football. Kyle Hamilton, 6'4", 220, fast, strong, play the pass, play the run. I mean, he's the leading tackler. Come on. He's knocked out. Got DJ Brown back there. You got Houston Griffith back there. Those guys are highly recruited, but they're not Kyle Hamilton. I mean, Kyle Hamilton especially, he's a one of one kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? But Clark Lee called a masterful game because they never really got exposed. And let me shout out Maris Liafu, the linebacker number 35. Real quick, one quick thing I played with a few Samoans. I've watched a few Samoans play, and I swear that they all damn near play the same way, which is hard as hell, and they always hit hella hard. I don't care if they're big or if they're small. They are fearless, and this is what Maris Liafu was doing as a linebacker. He's just throwing his body violently into the running back and just being disruptive. Like he's not even hitting with technique. You know what I'm saying? He's hitting. He's just exploding into the linebacker and causing disruption. And how he never got comfortable back there. Drew Wright was balling. Drew Wright was all over the field. Hank Bauer was balling. The linebackers played their butt. The linebackers and the D line really set the tone. Obviously, you get enough pressure on the quarterback, it's not going to be no room or no time rather for him to make those throws down the field. And he was looking for it. But every time he would drop back, 5-7 step, he got a guy grabbing on him, and by the time he gets loose from that, another guy is coming and smashing him. Clark Lee. I just see the Vanderbilt job just open up. Hopefully he doesn't take the job. I can't knock him if he does take the job. He is alum. He did play over there. He did graduate from over there, so I understand that. Those ties are priceless, but I'm still hoping, he sticks around for a little bit. I'm hoping we get some more years out of him because Clark Lee is a damn good coach, and he kind of fell in our lap. I love the way he coaches. I love his approach to the team and how he deals with the players and the adjustments that he make. I mean, cheers to Clark Lee. Yeah, I was worried. Gave up that 3rd and 18. Then that 3rd and 20, that's when Kyle Hamilton got kicked out of the game. I was worried going into the second half. That's why I put on my paper. I put right here, gut check second half, because that's what the second half was. It's like, what are you gonna do? Did I see Clark Lee holding them to no points at all in the second half? No, I didn't see that. But he did it. There's a lot of adversity to overcome in the second half. You got, you're trying to stop that offense. They get the ball. It was getting the ball back. And Kyle Hamilton's out. There's a lot of adversity the team had to really grit through and fight through and come out on top. And Notre Dame showed that. Shout out Ade. He playing his butt off. He's playing great ball right now. Very, very impressive. I was real impressed with the way the D line and the linebackers played, and just happy that I really didn't even see DJ Brown and Houston Griffith a whole lot. They are the safeties who replaced Kyle Hamilton. I didn't even see them, and for sure I thought I was going to see them get burnt over the top at least once, because they're not used to just being in that position. And Howell has an arm, and those receivers, they're going to be in the NFL. Forget their names. They're going to be in the NFL, though, those North Carolina receivers. They're good. But, if you get consistent pressure, then you kind of get consistent pressure up front, then you take the pressure off of your back end. Because you're able to get to the quarterback before guys can get open, before you can feel comfortable winding up and throwing the ball. So, Clark's league game plan was phenomenal, and it was executed at a high degree. And Notre Dame's offense didn't play great, but those two drives in the second half were huge, 93 and 97 yards. That's big time right there. That's big time. But that was good to see. Javon McKinley, I said he was balling. Look at it. They had 6 sacks. Notre Dame has 6 sacks. That means they're all in the backfield. That means it means nobody is comfortable. The running backs ain't comfortable. The offensive coordinator ain't comfortable. The quarterback for sure ain't comfortable. And that's what that pressure do. Ben Skoranek, I like him. I like the catches he was made. I like obviously the end around. That was a hell of a call. Like as soon as they made that call in the red zone, it was gonna go. It really came kind of surprised, kind of caught me by surprise. They did it on quick count. Before you know it, he's around the right side, and he got Trimble out there blocking, Michael Mayer blocking. Who else? And Skoranek came down on the crack. He caught that block too. It was a walk-in touchdown. He scores, standing up. So it was big, for the game to be 17-17 at halftime, and then for Notre Dame to go out and end up winning that game 31-17. That's big time. Now you got Notre Dame has Syracuse. You want to stay healthy, still play good, put on a good performance. Then supposed to play Wake Forest. We'll see how that go. And then it should be, the ACC championship game, and Clemson's gonna be ready. They looking forward to it. They feel like, they didn't have that guy. They didn't. And they so that they're excited. Guess what? Notre Dame is excited too for that rematch. But one game at a time. First things first. Senior night next week. You want to send your seniors out on top. You want to extend that 23 game, 24 game win streak at home. And you want to just be getting yourself into shape. Hopefully Braden Lindsey can get out there this week and make some plays because he's been gone for a while, 4 or 5 weeks as far as making a contribution to the team. So I really want to see him get out there and get his legs warm and get that hammy warm and get him going. So hopefully Braden Lindsey can go. Really, a lot of the young guys should be out there this week, against Syracuse. Jordan Johnson, I would love to see him. I would love to see Jordan Johnson make some plays out there. I would love to see that. But, we'll see how it go with Brian Kelly. You never know. You never know. So, all we can ask for is for Book to be magical and to keep on making plays. Tommy Tremble, he was blocking, but he needs to keep working on that catching too. He also was dropping. I want him to see him make them catches because he can make those catches. That's going to open up the offense even more. So, I want to see more, but he makes up for it. I love to see him blocking, and he loves blocking. You're not going to have a good blocker that don't love to block. I'm going to tell you that. Blocking is not something you can do kind of half-assed. You got to be all in on that, especially as a receiver, or as a tight end. Especially. So you gotta have that. You gotta have that dog in you, and he got it. He got that dog. It lives within. So I'm really impressed with Tommy Tremble and how he consistently is blocking each and every game. No worries, no nothing. I mean, throw him a little bone, a couple little passes. He dropped that pass, so hopefully, he can work on his hands so he can be ready for that because he can make plays in the passing game too. He is not just a blocker. He can make plays in the passing game as well. Like I said, Book was magical. He was magical. I mean, that flip, rolling to your left with the flip over there, that flip, that's going to live on forever, I'm telling you. Or at least this year. At least this year. That's going to be one of the plays this year. The SPs are going to be like, what? One of the plays, whoop. That flip, and they showed footage of it. He been doing that flip since high school. So, hey, you wouldn't recommend it, but, it got to be in you, not on you. And it's in him. I was impressed with that. Like I said, Ian Book did not play his best game. But when you're 29-3, you're not going to play your best game all the time. There are going to be some games where you're going to have to figure it out. Figure it out on defenses might throw some things at you, get you knocked off. You might have a couple offensive linemen out. Got to figure it out. You might have a couple receivers out. Got to figure it out. That's one thing he's been able to do. He's been able to figure it out. He is a winner. 29-3 as a starter. He's a winner. And I'm happy he's on my team. So, it was a good win, good gut check. Shout out Kyron's vision on that long run that he made. He got the ball to hold. He's running over here, but that vision is you running straight, but you see the hole over here, and you make that step and you go. Like I as a former running back, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at running backs who just run. They just run into the pile, or nowhere to go. They just run into the pile of people. Now you need to look. If it's guys over here, step over here. You got to see it, and you can't always look and see. You got to feel it. So you got to feel the momentum of everybody coming on one side, and you see there's no space over here. You don't see no colored jerseys over here, and you break over there. Now you're not always gonna bust that because somebody still can come out from the side and knock you down. But at least you're gonna get positive yards if you make the correct read, and that's what Kyron Williams was doing. Sebo didn't play. Still getting him back healthy. Look forward to seeing him back out there. Chris Tyree, thanks for picking up the slack. It's good to see the freshmen out there contributing. Hey, man. Notre Dame has a lot of haters. But I'll tell you what, every obstacle that has been placed in front of them, they have knocked it down. And that's all I expect them to keep doing. Thank you for your time. God bless. Kiss your kids. Yeah.